Words and words, oh God, let us hear the one from the many. Amen. After Jesus died and was put into the tomb, everyone got together to mourn, or what our customs called a shiva, where people came and brought us food and made sure we were all taken care of. As someone as an introvert, I have grown to love this community, and it just got overwhelming. We were also trying to lay low from the Romans who wanted to make our lives a living hell. They just killed one of our best friends. My best friend, my brother, some who would say was my twin. I needed to get away from everything for a little while and stay somewhere else for a couple of days. And guess what happened while I was gone? Jesus decides to show up. At least that's what the guys tell me. Peter kept telling me, "Thomas, you should have seen him. Did we tell you he didn't even knock on the door? He just appeared in the room." Matthew nearly passed out. And I chuckled a little knowing that Jesus probably enjoyed scaring Matthew. Jesus was always full of pranks, and there was never a dull moment, especially in a scary or serious situation. I mean, during a storm while on a boat, this guy takes a nap. We all thought we were going to die, and Jesus is over there dreaming about who knows what. Probably figs. He had a strange obsession with figs. Yet he gets up and he tells the seas to be calm, and the seas were calm. Who was this guy? Jesus showed them the holes in his hands, the deep wound from the spear in his side. They said that he did not look like himself at all. Along with the holes and the gouge in his side, he was disfigured from the crown of thorns and the cat of nine tails that ripped him apart. From what they said, he was beyond recognition. The only thing recognizable was his voice. That seemed like the longest week. I was with the guys all the time, and the one day that I decided to be by myself to recharge, he shows up. He was my best friend. I would have died with him. Well, that's what I'd like to think. The days are going by slowly, and every day the guys keep talking about Jesus showing up. And we share our favorite stories, like the time some kid brought a sack lunch to us and we were able to feed over 5,000 people. Jesus was remarkable. Yet I was still jealous. I didn't just want to see the holes in his hands or the slash on his side. I wanted to feel them. I wanted to know that it was him and not some apparition or someone who disguised himself to look like Jesus. I experienced all the emotions, from anger to sorrow to grief to joy. I would find myself crying in his memory, and then again think of a memory that would have me laughing until I cried, like his love for old Zacchaeus, this little guy that climbed up a sycamore tree just to see Jesus. That tickled Jesus. Jesus had such an infectious laughter. And once he started, everyone was gone. And the children, The children, he loved the children. Peter, not so much. Peter tried to keep a group of children away from Jesus, and Jesus simply wasn't having it. He embraced them, he told them stories, and smiled. Jesus had the biggest smile. Oh, and Mary, Jesus' mother, who I also lovingly called Mom, loved Jesus dearly. She delighted in him. And like all moms, maybe got on Jesus' nerves just a little bit, like the time she asked Jesus to turn water into wine. Jesus finally gave in, and he did it. And I guess that really was his first miracle. She was so proud of him. Mary was there from the beginning, holding him as an infant in her arms, and then in her arms as her dead son. Mary asked me to run to the market square and grab some flour for anxious Martha, who always needed to be busy with something. Even during this time of mourning, she wanted to make some fresh bread. Martha can't ever sit still anyways, and I love the taste of fresh bread with a little hummus, some fresh olive oil from one of the nearby groves. So good. I bring everything back and settled in with the guys. They're all laughing and talking loudly, like we're not over here trying to be low key or hide from the Romans. And Jesus appears right in front of me. I can't believe my eyes. I rub them and I blink a few times, and then he pulls me close to him. I am in disbelief still. Thomas, feel the holes in my hands, he says. I am trembling as I feel the flesh and the warmth of his hand. Thomas, feel the hole in my side, he says. I'm going to be sick to my stomach. Half of my hand goes into his side. With tears in my eyes and a quiver in my voice, I say, my Lord, my God. Jesus smiles his big smile, and we embrace for what seems like eternity. Tears are streaming down my face, and the room is quiet, and I can hear his heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. Thomas knew Jesus. I knew Jesus. There was a time in my life that I felt like that long week and all I had were memories of Jesus, just to feel his presence once again. Or did that even happen? I was full of doubt. I doubted my own experiences. Those times that I doubt and wondered, what in the world am I doing? Almost weekly, what in the world am I doing? Yet Jesus has shown his hand in my life time and time again. I am someone who, to use the word that Reverend Amelia used last week a few times, I can be someone that's quite cynical. I can have a hard time listening to others' testimonies and honestly get kind of jealous, asking, why does it seem like God shows up for them in that way? Does God not care for me the same? Now, there are different theories behind why it seems like God decides to show up and why God simply does not. And we do not have enough time to discuss that right now. However, one thing that I would argue is that your own personal testimony can't be beat. And we share what God has done to encourage others, yet it is a personal and intimate experience for us, not an experience to be compared to those of others. Have you had those times of doubt? The disciples told Thomas of their experience, yet Thomas needed to have his own encounter. Thomas had his tangible experience, yet he did not keep it to himself. And cool fact, he traveled to India to share his experiences with others. Again, I have never seen the holes in Jesus' hands, nor have I seen the hole in his side. Yet I have seen Jesus in my queer siblings, who continue to believe despite a world telling them that they should not, that they do not belong. When legislators have closed-door meetings and try to enforce harmful bills, causing many Texans to flee their homes and state that they love. I see resurrection power when people from all walks of life show up to the Capitol chanting, "We will not be silent." We've been told we're too loud, that we do not matter, that there are only a few of us. But we gather and we show each other our scars, proof that we have survived and that we are serving. Proof that people may want to get rid of us, yet we come back. And we come back stronger, and somehow we seem to multiply. Why do we multiply? We multiply because we're vulnerable with our community about our scars. Scars being the testimonies that are shared in the chambers of the Capitol and on the Capitol steps. And these entities that have tried to silence us by making these bills, by spreading false rumors and causing division within our own house, their plans backfire and they give us courage, and they give courage to others that may have felt silenced. We give each other a voice. We give each other hope. We give each other hope. And I see hope when I look in each and every single one of your eyes. Amen.